going on, guys? Coach Heath here, and we got Coach Clayton from Acadiana Jiu Jitsu, and we wanted to go through the Acadiana Jiu Jitsu Open scoring system for our points competition coming up. So first thing, kids round is going to be 3 minutes. Adult white belt and blue belts is going to be 5 minutes, and advanced belts, purple and up, is going to be 8 minutes. It's going to be a regular round followed by overtime if there is a tie. So there must be a winner. We'll get into that a little bit later. So scoring, first things first, takedowns. If I get a regular takedown, let's say I take Coach Clayton down, boom, and I hold this takedown in a dominant position for 1, 2, 3 seconds, that means I'm gonna get 2 points. All right, we also have high amplitude takedowns. So if I take him down where his hips or legs go over my hip while throwing him, while I remain standing, or if his feet go over his head during a takedown, that's gonna be a high amplitude takedown, and that's gonna score me 3 points instead of the 2. So example, if I get a hip throw, his legs go flying, and I hold this position for 1, 2, 3 seconds, then that's gonna give me 3 points for a takedown versus your normal 2. Now, where does guard pulling come into all this? So if I decide to pull guard, I can, all right? And there's no penalty until my back starts to expose itself to the mat. And what that is a 90-degree angle, my back versus the floor. So if my back and the floor is more than a 90-degree angle, we're still good, I'm still attacking, this is still considered neutral. The reason for that is a lot of guys like to play here, and he hasn't dominated the positional situation yet. Even if I sit down to here, he's not dominating yet. It's not until we engage and my back breaks that 90-degree and I start getting back exposure towards the mat, then we'll start counting for positional points. If we're playing the game, I'm here, I rock back, and then I rock back forward to attack, maybe for a wrestle up, Joseph Chin style, then that's not gonna be considered him in dominant position until the 3 seconds are counted and my back breaks that 90-degree plane. Make sense? Yes, sir. Cool. So guard players, you can pull guard, but you better be quick about it or wrestle up with it. Now reversals. So we can do sweeps and reversals. They're all gonna be scored the same. So if I get a sweep from here, and I get a sweep using my guard, and I get up and hold the position for 1, 2, 3 seconds, that's gonna be 2 points. But also, if he's in side control, and I'm able to switch the position up for 1, 2, 3 seconds, that's also 2 points. Even trap and rolls. If I do a trap and roll, trap the arm, trap the leg, and now I'm on top for 1, 2, 3 seconds, that's gonna be 2 points for a reversal. So any dominant position where you, any disadvantaged position that gets you into an advantageous position or dominant position, that's gonna get you reversal points. All right, now let's move on to pins. And I've got a lot of flack about this, but pins, guard passes are essentially the same thing. So if I've taken Clayton down and he's got some type of a guard, if I just pass the guard, I haven't really established anything yet. I haven't controlled anything yet. But if I pass the guard and I go into a pinning position where I pin Coach Clayton's back on the mat, again, breaking that 90-degree, that's back exposure, this is a pin. As long as I've got all of my limbs out of his guard, out of his leg limbs, this is considered a pin. All pins are gonna be 2 points. So we got side control, Kesa, reverse Kesa, north-south, knee on belly, and even reverse knee on belly. All these are pin positions where we pass the guard and kind of nullified the guard and pin him to his back. Those are gonna be worth 2 points also. Now, I can't get a bunch of pin points consecutively. I can't get side control, Kesa, north-south. That's not gonna be 2 plus 2 plus 2. Same thing for knee on belly. If I'm here and I pop up to knee on belly, that's not 2 additional ones. All right, I know it's a little different from most places, but once we cut over to mount, this is a different situation. Now we have front mounts. Our front mount positions are gonna be worth 3 points. Okay, instead of the normal 4, it's only gonna be worth 3 points. But from here, we have different mounts that we can secure. So I can get a traditional mount. I can get an S mount or modified mount, as long as the back keeps the back exposure of 90 degrees. Another controversial one we're talking about, I see a lot of kids doing this. The kids will try and pin the arm down to attack this one. We're gonna count the arm trap as a mount as long as your knee is underneath the armpit. Because once the knee goes over the armpit, like you're going for a mounted triangle or something, this isn't really a mount anymore. This is more of like a pinning position, all right? So we're gonna trap the arm, or maybe even he tries to scoop the leg, and I'm like, oh, no. This is gonna be considered mount because my knee is below his armpit. The second it goes above the armpit, that's not a mount anymore. Now, same thing for the back mounts. If I can get my traditional back mount, got caught, hooks, seatbelt, that's gonna be 3 points additionally, all right? What we're also gonna allow is if we do body triangles, that's gonna be a back mount. Also, if we trap the arm, kind of same situation, where I'm below the armpit or below the shoulder, this is gonna count here or here. But the second I go over the armpit or over the shoulder, that's no longer gonna be back mount points. All right, so the progressive scoring system. We're gonna have a progressive scoring system. So what that means is once I get my pin points, I can't get any more pin points. So once I get past his guard and I pin him, I've gotten my 2, I can't get any more pin points, but I can get mount points. Once I get the front facing mount points, I can no longer get pin points, but I can get the back mount points. But once I get the back mount points, I cannot get front mount or pin points. So it's a progressive positional scoring system. All right, now the last thing points-wise I want to go over is compounding points. So if I take Clayton down and land in a pinning position, I got 2 for the takedown, and if I can secure this before he gets his guard back, now I have 2 for the pin also. So we compounded the points. 2 for the takedown and 2 for the pin. So if I secure this pin after the takedown for 3 seconds, I'm gonna get 4 points total. Another example of compounding points is if I get a takedown to a mount. Let's say I get my Kosoto takedown and I go to the mount position. Once I've secured this for 3 seconds, that's gonna be 2 points for the takedown and then 3 points for the front mount. I can no longer score pin points if I land there. Now, let's say I get a trip, boom, takedown, and I take his back. That was 2 points for the takedown, and now I got 3 points for the back mount, but I can no longer get front mount or pin points because I've gotten here. The highest compounding point score you can get is 6 points. That is a high amplitude takedown with a secured mount, securing in a mount position. For example, I get, let's say, I do a mat return, and forgive me, my mat returns are terrible, but I do a mat return and his feet go way up in the air. Butt stand, and then I take his back. All right, if that would be a 3-point takedown and I secured a mount position after that, that would be 3 for the takedown and 3 for the mount, combining for a full 6 points. It's kind of like in judo and in Olympic wrestling, they get like a 5-point throw. If they land right on the back, that is it. What we're trying to reward is takedowns to better positions. In a lot of other tournaments, if I take him down and land in his guard, it's the same amount of points if I take him down and land knee on belly.
You gotta count 3, and then you recount for that position.
But what does that promote? That promotes me to take you down and land in a worse position than what I want so I can get more points.
Exactly.
So this point scoring system, we put a lot of thought into it, and the whole point is to get action and no stalling and go for the submission. So where were we? Okay, penalties now. All right, so let's talk about penalties. It's 3 strikes and you're out system. You're gonna get a verbal warning by the referee. then you're gonna get a point deduction, or they're gonna give the other guy a penalty point, and then you're gonna be disqualified. So a good example of this you're gonna see is in the overtime rounds, we're gonna get to in a minute, but just for an example of stalling. So if we're wrestling here and he keeps backing up, and we have to constantly reset to the middle, he's backing up, he's gonna get one warning, and then he's gonna get, I'm gonna get a point for him disengaging. If it happens again, he's disqualified, I win. So this is not like jiu-jitsu stalling, this is wrestling stalling. So they're gonna call it pretty quickly. So be ready to be active and attack. Let's see, fleeing the mat. If Clayton and I are in some type of submission battle, let's say I'm going for a heel hook and I'm about to have it, but he rolls out of bounds. Boom. The referee's gonna kind of let you go if it's safe, but if he has to stop it, he's gonna reset you without the finishing leverage. Same position, but without the finishing leverage. So we might start here or right here, but then it's just gonna be boom and go because that guy was running. Try not to run out of the mat to escape submissions. Remember, you get one warning, second time is a point deduction, third time, the other person wins, you're DQ'd. So that's the penalties, stalling, fleeing the mat, or disengaging in general. So let's go to overtime. We can talk a little bit more about stalling then. So nobody won the point battle and the time ran out in regulation time. There's gonna be a 2-minute overtime round. First one to get the golden score, that means like the first person to score wins, or first person to get a submission. Now, there's going to be a coin flip, all right, because sometimes nobody scores at the end of it. The coin flip's gonna determine who gets to choose the positions. Now there are 3 positions. First one's neutral. Let's say I win the coin flip. I can choose neutral, or I can choose the bottom position where I'll be sitting down with my knees up. He'll be on his knees, his hands are on my knees, my hands are on his hands. This is the down position, and Clayton is in the top position, or top and bottom, right? Whoever wins the coin toss gets to choose one of these 3 positions, and then you're required to score from these positions. If no one scores, at the end of the overtime round, the person who lost the coin toss automatically wins because the person that got the positional choice still didn't score. I think I covered pretty much everything, Clayton. You got anything to add to that?
Nope. Just be ready for stalling calls if you're not active.
Yeah, so stalling's gonna be the big thing. Like you say, you get 3 chances, you're out, but the whole hope in that is to promote action, to promote submissions, and to dissuade stalling. All right, guys, so look, I know I probably made some mistakes in here somewhere, or there's some gaping holes that I just did not see. If you guys see anything that might be an issue, remember, this is a brand new rule set that we're trying to develop to kind of innovate and like make grappling fun for everyone. Whether you're a wrestler, a judoka, or a jiu-jitsu person, it doesn't matter. We want a general grappling rule set that everybody can come in and have a good time with. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. Like and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Facebook or Instagram, and everything I just said is probably gonna get our video not pushed out there further. But anyway, appreciate you guys. We'll see y'all at the Acadiana Jiu Jitsu Invitational. See you on the mats.